All right. Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order for the Wells Springs Unified Union School District. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So our business is to approve the agenda. Kids. Motion by Sue. All those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. On to student, staff, or student highlight.
So I invited 4 of our 3rd and 4th graders here this evening. For the second year, we have had trout in the classroom, which means that they are raising trout from 100 eggs. They've started, and they just wanted to kind of explain the process to you. If you have questions, they'd be willing to answer them, I'm sure. And as I said, if you want to go down and see the tank after the meeting, I'd be happy to get those for. But if you stand up, just introduce yourselves. What grade are you in? All 4 come right up here right now. Okay. And if you stand over here because the microphone is there, you don't have to talk into it. It'll hear you. Okay. And who might you be? What's your name?
Bryson.
Bryson, what grade are you in?
4.
And you're going to want to try to talk to them. You know me. Okay. Go ahead. Can you read what you have?
Yeah. In December, we learn about setting up our tank. There is a chiller that is used to keep the water cold, an aerator that adds oxygen to the tank, and a thermometer probe we also added to breeder basket for the eggs.
You got it. And maybe if you want to start down there, you can hand them the paper so they can look at the drawings to see the cycles. Who are you?
I'm William.
William, what grade?
4. In January, we received 100 trout eggs. We started science journals to track our observations. We also learned about tracking data. We have to add data to a table that will be shared with the CIC program at the end of the year. We have to track tank temperature and chemical levels. We take turns helping take care of the tank. We have been sharing pictures and updates with the whole school throughout this process. We have lost some fish. 1 egg was not healthy. 2 alvin died shortly after hatching. The bigger fish are now starting to eat the smaller ones, so we are down to about 50 fish. We will be planning a release day event in May.
And you are?
Natalie in
Natalie.
3rd grade.
3rd grade.
We learned about the tryout life cycle and made our own diagrams to show what we learned. But they started as eggs, then the eggs hatched and alvin are born. The alvin have the yolk sacs attached to them, and this is how they get the nutrients, and alvin will slowly absorb their yolk sac. When the yolk sac is absorbed, the trout are called fry. This is when they will swim up to look for food. It is really important that we watch for this stage. If the trout do not get fed during the swim up stage, they will not learn to eat. The fry continue to grow and will become juvenile fingerlings than adults.
And you might be.
I'm Alex. I'm grade. We also learned about nitrogen cycle in the tank. Food that doesn't get used by the fish breaks down in the tank. This creates ammonia, which is toxic to the fish. healthy bacteria breaks down the pneumonia, creating nitrite, which is less toxic. It's too toxic to the fish. Healthy bacteria breaks down the nitrite, creating nitrate. In the natural environment, nitrate provides nutrients and for plant growth, and the plants help filter the water. In our tank, which is like when toxic levels get too high, we have healthy bacteria. We also have a vacuum. We also have to vacuum and do water changes to help keep the levels.
How often do you have to do that?
We do that. Do the chemicals in the vacuum at the afternoon, but we also feed them to in the morning and the afternoon. School hours.
During school hours, yes.
Yeah, you take the nitrate, stuff like that.
Not yet. We only gotta keep them for a few more, like 1 or 2 months. So we probably not.
So they measure the levels.
I understand that.
Yeah, no.
It'll change levels, you know, but the plants.
Correct.
There you go.
I have a question. So you said that there's a chiller to keep the water cold. How cold does it need to be
Like around 45 to 50 degrees. Yeah.
all the time?
Yeah, 53 normally it's at.
And you started with 100 eggs and you only have about 50 now?
Yeah, 50 or lost another one. So around like 40.
How big are they now?
Like, yeah.
Yes. You should
Like half
talk
an
about
hour.
afterwards. It's really interesting because they start out. And what happens when you put the breeder basket in?
They swim around in that, and then until they get bigger, they'll get out, and then they'll start swimming around and getting to eat.
Using your hands, William, how big is the breeder basket that's in the tank?
Out there.
And so there were 100 fish in the breeder basket.
Wow.
Favorite eggs, that's right. Yeah.
When they hatched.
Where did you get the eggs from?
Oh,
Price jumper.
There was I forget the full band name, but I know it had Shield in the name.
Okay.
No, Holy Shield. Holy Shield, I think was the band name.
Is absolutely correct.
Good job.
Mr. Marks that works, his wife was at Meadowby, is the person that we work with, and he sets up the process of us being able to get the fish every year. Now that we have the chiller and we have the tank, they can do this each year for about $70.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's great, and the release, we decided end of May,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and so we'll invite you to the release day.
Where is the release gonna be at?
The river by the Los Angeles.
They'll walk right in there.
Wow.
What was the most surprising thing you learned that like you had never heard of before?
That all the chemicals, like, they turn in. You can put one chemical in and it'll turn into a different one.
Yeah, cool.
And who's responsible for everything that you do with the tanks?
Scotchy.
And
Miss Grant.
that's, and Mrs. Cronish is not here this week, so who is responsible for it? Are you taking?
Yeah.
Yes. They are actually doing pretty much all the work except for how often do you have to change the water?
We haven't changed it at all yet. We have took out like a scoop and added in a scoop.
Why do you do
We
that?
changed it just to add in like good, like better water.
What kind of water? Where do you get the water from?
We get it from the sink, then we like filter it.
Okay,
Filter it out so all the
I bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your favorite job for taking care of them?
vacuuming. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we got a little study on here. All right.
Did you guys work with the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources at all? They have fish hatcheries, and then the federal government has one in Pittsfield.
That would be a
So-
good,
That would
Field
be a
trip.
good field trip.
yeah.
There's also one, I guess you're going to Vin's soon.
We're going to Vin's on
Up by,
Thursday.
on the way to Vin's, there's also another fish hatchery.
So just a couple other things that the Lake St. Catherine Conservation Fund contacted us. And so this group is also going to be doing a study of plant life in the Little Lake at Lake St. Catherine. So they'll be doing 3 sessions there.
What's
And
the fishing to start yet?
You just raised them, why don't you just keep going longer, make a bigger tank?
And then Wells was asked recently to host the Southern Vermont Student Showcase. And we'll be hosting a dinner here. So do you want to pass this out and just let everybody know they're invited? It's on May the 28th. It is all homegrown foods. They have given us a budget. And everything that we serve will be just locally. And these guys are gonna.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? Well, thank you all for
Yeah,
coming
thank
and
you.
presenting. And okay,
Yeah, thank you.
did you tell them to say that?
I brought him right.
That was perfect. Okay. On to general public comment. Anyone online or in person wish to speak tonight? Okay. Onto our consent agenda. We have minutes, warrants, and contract recommendations. I believe it's just informal, informational. I mean, if there's any professional contracts in there, but we can take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
By Amanda. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Carries unanimously. Okay, on to reports. We have our superintendent's report. Let's see, Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything or we can just go to questions tonight.
No, I apologize for not being there. I had some dental work done today, but I'll take any questions if you have any.
So let's start seeing this. No questions for the superintendent? All right.
Hang on.
Okay.
It's, I don't know, I don't see it right off the top of my head. The idea of consolidating stuff like that been discussed in the chief.
Not tonight.
Okay.
No, because when we talked about it, we talked about doing it in April. But it was kind of like, that's when we were going to start. But we sat down to look at the agenda. There was some old business to take care of. And then, of course, what's coming out of the legislature,
That's what I was.
you know, it's so, I don't know.
So those are like, oh God, we already did this. And yeah.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
All right, principals reports.
Middletown Springs, we are finishing up our VTCAP match this week. So we did fifth grade science yelling last week, and we have math this week. We have our final assessments for Fastbridge at the end of May. At third parent conferences, the EST team and special education team sent letters home for students who would benefit from from summer tutoring. We have our all school children's character trait for the month is honesty. There was a question on why we were receiving food credits. So I just checked in with Angela and Lisa. It's for a variety of reasons. The food was either not correct or damaged when it was delivered. different products that were purchased, maybe weren't available. So they kind of do different swaps, and sometimes the prices change. For VTCAP, our staff put together a really cute pet rally. Becky and Lisa, the cook, put together a lot of great high protein snacks and treats for the kids to have every day of testing. During that pep rally, we talked about test taking strategies, and the Wonder Garden were our cheerleaders, and they put together a whole cheer for our grades 3 to 6. In terms of physical plant, Ernie and I worked pretty hard on the pressure tanks. Basically, there's 2 options. We got large tank replacements, small tank replacements. The large tanks are massive, and so we have 3 bids that are there. The pros of large tank replacement, wouldn't need any type of re-engineering. The cons is the cost. It's a lot more money. Effort in terms of installation. They only come with a 1-year warranty. The small tank replacement, your bids right there. So bid 1 is the same company as bid 1 for the large tank replacement. Pros, the cost, the effort, the ease, installation and maintenance, and they come with a 7-year warranty. The cons is possible re-engineering, which we actually checked with the state and heard back on Friday. Would not need to re-engineer. They might need to come in and do a little check. So that's what we have going for the water pressure tanks. Control tank, last meeting, we asked how many controllers we have, how many have been replaced. Middletown has 13 controllers and 7 have been replaced so far. We are still going forth with the foundation in the front of the building. That's for May. Carpentry is scheduled. So originally I had painting. It's a whole lot more than painting. And so he came and checked the school out in terms of what he could do so that the school stays intact, so that there's no flooding. So I think that's going to have to take precedent for painting. But I'm just kind of working with him, and he's going to be completing work end of June, early July. And we have we're putting the special ed bathroom, and that's proposed for July. I'm not 100% sure what the problem is. It's just out of commission right now. Some more positive things. We have the summer programming. That is still there. We've Girls on the Run, so much fun. We actually have a team of 13 girls who are learning about each other and prepping for the 5K race at Manchester on June 6th. Miss Peace and I are coaching that team together. Pre-K had a great visit to the rock climbing gym in Rutland. Yo-Yo Club with Eric started April 8th. And the Historical Society gave us a really generous donation that is allowing us to go to Hill Team tonight. Our Strawberry Jam race is June 20th. Staff Appreciation Week. That first week of May, FFB has done a great lineup for our staff. And the Scholastic Global Fair was a great success. Got over $2,200 in sales. Well, that's Middletown.
Any questions?
Is your tutoring at Middletown or is that at Pulteney as well?
No, that's, oh,
Yeah.
yes, West Rutland. And no, yeah, so that's just a Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And we just sent all those forms out, kind of all across the Jersey.
Any other questions?
Back to the water tank replacement, the engineering on the smaller size tanks, does that involve any extra cost or does that just come with it?
No, honestly, I was trying to find a con to put down.
Okay.
And so it was when I created this report and sent it on Wednesday, it was possible to be engineering, but the state got back to us on Friday. that it does not need to be engineered, that it is possible. It might involve a check, but I don't see that being a problem.
Thank you.
You got 50 controllers, something that they still.
Is this a math quiz or? I don't know. Well, maybe. So when they just come in and they do the PMs, the preventative maintenance, they just kind of check through all of them. I think that they just get replaced like as the years go on. Okay.
You know which way you're gonna go with the water tanks?
Well, I kind of just wanted to be transparent with the work that we've done, and kind of throw it your way. It's a significant amount of money. If you would like my recommendation, I would go with bid one on the small tank replacements. That bid is from the company. The kids go to the school. The family is extremely helpful. They live in the community. They answer the phone. We have each other's cell phone numbers. They respond very quickly, and I trust them. Not just because it's the lowest bid, but I do trust that company. So that would be my recommendation. For that.
So is a large tank, I mean, this is the first I'm hearing of this, large tank versus a small tank based on the number of people using the building?
And so I think it has to do with the amount of pressure that the tanks put out. So the tanks currently right now are, like this big,
Right,
and it's 4 of them. So getting them out is going to be a tremendous amount of work.
yeah,
It does not matter. So we're replacing them with smaller tanks. That's just because our technology has improved since
right, so that, yeah, that's what I'm,
right? And so it doesn't affect anything. It's literally just the size of the tank. And so the other ones are probably like this, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4. So installing those is going to be a whole lot easier, and they come with a 7-year warranty.
like a no-brainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I originally got 2 bids with the large tank replacement. Then our third bid came in, and they said, "Oh, well, you can use the small tanks. Here's this bid, apples to oranges." So I needed apples to apples. So I went back, redid everything, and got all 3 bids for the large tanks and all 3 bids for the small tanks.
So you're replacing all 4?
Yes, I was talking with Lewis. He asked if we could do one at a time. It's not that type of
Yeah.
project. We have our 2 pumps for the pressure tanks that are attached, all of the plumbing and some of the piping. So they have to cut that, remove the pumps to get the pressure tanks out.
Okay. All right. Now,
When do you need I guess when does that need to be decided? Is there a time, like, I'm assuming they'll do it over the summer or?
Definitely, it has to, the kids can be in the building, they'll have to shut that down.
Do they need us on the schedule by like May or?
Well, it would have to be like July, with this type of money, it would be coming from the capital improvement funds. And so that's why I'm kind of presenting it to the board just for guidance. I have my recommendation.
I don't know, maybe that's something that we can put on the agenda for May. Okay.
But the bids change frequently just because prices of things
Yeah.
go up and down and up and down. So a lot of the bids say, 10 days. The company that I would bid one for the small tank, they'll work with us in terms of keeping that bid the same.
I don't know, I think, what's that?
It used to be a month for a bid
Yeah.
or longer.
Okay.
Now it's 10 days. So
Well, like my thought, if we, put it as an action item on the agenda and actually, because some of the bids do exceed 40,000. So then we could look at those recommendations, you know, as opposed to,
Making a motion and tonight,
yeah.
be inclined to make a motion tonight.
Well, my thought on it is it's just, it's in the principal's report. It's not an agenda item. That's kind of my thought behind it. But, and I didn't know it was even going to come up, to be honest.
I guess if something came up that they needed it sooner, we could just have an additional meeting, but
The cutoff was to be 40K.
Yeah.
For approval, so technically we're under that.
But if they're going to request capital maintenance money, it needs board approval anyway. So I don't know. That's my thought on it. And it, you know, to your point, that it doesn't need to be decided on until, you know, you said July at least. But
Yes.
I wouldn't wait that long.
Plus, that's the thing, materials are going crazy, so we want to get in the queue and price fixed. Would it be okay if Jessica checks with Lewis, you know, that this is the way to go without our approval and just proceed with that bid?
Well, yeah.
I don't think that I can just because the amount of, you know.
Yeah. It's, and to my understanding that, using any of the capital money requires board approval.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So you know, I think that we should put it on the agenda, have it warned.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look at it, you know, in its entirety, right? And, you know, then we're making you know, a well-informed decision. I know it sounds like, well, this is needed. All your reports say like water tanks, like, and so, but yeah, that's just my opinion on it. So,
can we confirm for the May meeting that with that 10-day window that they're talking about, as long as it's, you know, approved in that month, they're not gonna come back in July and say, well, now the price went up between May and July, that once we give them the approval, or otherwise there's not much.
I'm not sure you're guaranteed from now to next month.
But usually if there's like a contract on something, right, they can order the materials and say installation is scheduled on.
Right, going, yes.
Yeah.
Which is why I'd rather move sooner. I mean, are we going to go through all of the bids individually?
whatever I think whatever's recommended. Be my thought.
Yeah. Why I'm wondering why we're waiting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure how those bids work. Like once it's approved, right? Like you said, there's 10 days, and I mean, you know, like so. If you come back in May, do you expect that it's going to be like
Not
for bid number one? Is it going to be like the 44K now?
Not
or-
from bid one, because again, I trust them that they're willing to work with us. So I don't think that it will change. Yeah. So whether they're supposed to pay or buy.
I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for Jessica? That pertains to the principal report. We'll move on there.
So this past month, as administrators, we've been talking as an SU about how to support our students in writing in a better way. And one of the things that Lisa Madison and Tyler Friedman had gone to was training for case literacy, the writing framework. And so we went to Proctor, Ms. Mulkey, and her writing. Kind of having full-on session in the morning to give us an idea of what it looks like. And so I know that from my building, Sean, our interventionist, and I will be going to the training, and the training will be trained trainers kind of things that will have the knowledge to kind of incorporate it into the building level. It was a wonderful learning experience. Sometimes we go to professional development and don't come back feeling like it was really worth it, but it was definitely worth it. And we're excited to do that training. At Wells, we finished our cognitive testing. We did 3 weeks that we did our ELA. And then in the middle week, we did science, which was only our 5th graders. Last week, we did our math testing. I believe that we have 1 student left who has 1 part of the math test to take, but otherwise we're caught up. We kind of followed suit. We did a pep rally to get the kids signed. We had lots of, they came in every day that we did testing. We had snacks. And then last week we kind of finished off because it was the math portion. One of the things they encourage the kids is to have a scrap paper that they're going to show all their work on. And then those get taken in. They don't go to the testing center, they get shredded. So we had our kids who did that put their names on it. We had kind of a fun raffle at the end of last week just for kids who showed their work. And they could hand it a piece of paper saying, yes, they did. With them out. We did a great drawing. It was a lot of fun. Kids really enjoyed it. Over April break, and actually starting on Saturday, the company All Pro Home and Pest is going to be here to start repairs for this room, for the 4th grade room, the closet that is off the side of the 4th grade room, and our, so they will be coming in starting this Saturday. They wanted to do it starting Saturday so that if they had to have a full week to make sure things are dry, that they can get things painted. Hopefully everything will be done by the time break's over. That's the goal. We do have a Green Mountain Power set. They just needed a 4-hour window of time next week where they could start fixing it between poles. So there will be no power here for 4 hours. We put in there, it's scheduled for Wednesday at 8:30. Thursday's raining. I did a lot of work with Control Tech this past month, and one of the things that they realized was that the new pumps they put in, they were putting in a different size coupling in them, and they were wearing down pretty quickly. And so they said that was their mistake. They owned it, they came back in, and now they went from a 3J coupling to a 4J, and we're no longer having to wear a gel process. As far as what's going on in the school, we had a family math night on Monday, the 30th of March. Our PTO stopped today. It was a really wonderful event. We did pizza, salad, dessert, and played a lot of different math games and did door prizes, and every family took home a math game. Our PTO also sponsored our book fair this spring, and it was a huge success. We did it over parent-teacher conferences. We had enough sales that we will be able to keep the book cases for our next book fair. So people are pretty excited about that. And they were able to fill all of the teachers' wish lists. On Thursday, kindergarten through 6th grades going on a field trip to Ben's. Again, thank you our PTOs that sponsored that. We learned about Trout in the classroom. Let's see. I don't know. Mr. Mondran during the month of March did a yo-yo club, and it was a huge success. We're hoping he's going to come back. We were only able to do 4th through 6th graders, but we have a lot of interest. So I think we're going to do a 1-day workshop just to kind of get our youngers interested in kind of so that they can know more about it. And we also did a P tour. We have a student in our Bridges program who loves math. And so this year, don't know if you know this, he came out with 6 flavors. And so I know. So we did a testing in all of the classrooms, and they voted on their favorites and the ones they displaced. And some of them were like, I have a chance, I'm going to try this. And he is taking and compiling all of the data and he's like to create a presentation on that. I don't know because he hasn't finished my data. Dr. Pepper definitely did not think. Sour watermelon may have a chance. I know, I said I don't, but they had a lot of fun doing that. We did do our character trait, for the month of April. We are doing forgiveness. And Saturday of this past week, our sixth grade had a basket raffle. Thank you to Amanda Beaton who organized it, and it was a huge success. Nice job, and they made a lot, which is great. A lot of people from the community supported. That's it.
I will add a lot of local businesses
Yeah,
and community members donated as well. So we had a great turnout of people supporting, but the amount of people that stepped up and donated and helped out was tremendous. So it was really great to see our community help us like that.
How many baskets you get?
163.
I can show you, if you want, I can show you, because I knew. Also, the congratulations.
Thanks. And also I'll add about the basket raffle. I meant to tell Carol this morning and I forgot, but I'll tell all of us at the same time. I had 3 people come to me after the raffle before we were done and congratulated our 6th grade students that were there working. We also had 4 other students that were not in 5-6 that helped us, but the kids were great. They were awesome basket runners. They worked hard. It was a long day. And like I said, 3 different people came up and said, your kids did great. They looked awesome. So clap to them too.
Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, they did
You made
good.
a lot of money, it's a lot of work.
They did.
How much did you make?
They were very successful.
are we not allowed to say?
I don't know that back to you.
$300.
$8,300?
You can do that, that's what I said, it's
Yeah.
a lot of work, like, you can do some big fundraisers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We had some big ticket items that they, like Telescope donated a paddling set.
Furniture.
Yeah.
We had Yankees tickets. That was a big thing. And
It was wonderful.
That's sad, but yeah, sounds.
Well, pre-COVID, when we used to do that for the fundraising for 56, and it was holiday basket raffle. I don't think we raised that much. I don't know.
I know in the past there have been a couple of.
We've had some
Yeah,
but that is really impressive. I like
That's,
that.
yes, it is.
That is-
I'm very
that's
happy,
huge.
I'm glad you did that.
And one of the incentives was there was a basket challenge for the classes. So actually pre-K 1, they donated the most baskets.
23 came out of that classroom. And they were so excited. They were so cute when we gave them their little goodie bags.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. That's great. Okay.
One quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, on the boilers. I see Ernie's looking into that. You also say that an outside party inspected the boilers, made some suggestions. Who was that?
I'm gonna have to go back and check with Ernie. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I can send you an email tomorrow.
Thank you.
We were just talking about it because between the 2 schools, it's kind of like, does it definitely have to be done? Those are all questions that we're. We're talking about.
No, that's great. I think that's good because I think although we have for next year money, I think having a good full assessment and understanding the details of the necessity that's just my opinion.
It hits the pipes, right? There's some spot.
Yeah, the pipes are all this. They have that. Both has been checked.
I just noticed that you doing spot.
Okay. So if there's no other questions about your report, we do have Fastbridge and VTCAP. I guess for the sake of time, if you guys just want to, we don't have to go through each slide by side. Maybe just talk about, next step with some of the analysis, I guess. I don't know what
I
you have.
guess the one thing I feel pretty good about, and I did mess up, I apologize to Christine and Tyler. I had the wrong date for putting information in, but, for our VTCAP over the past 3 years, at Wells, although math's an area of concern, we had gone from having 3s and 4s, 14%. First year we took it, 3% the following year. We went to 20% in the 2025 assessment. So I thought that was really good news. Our ELA scores were right around 23, 24%. And last year we were at 49% of our kids who read the 3 and 4 level. Pretty excited about that. And we had an upward trend to 3% of our students getting level 3 or 4 in science, whereas before we really were right at the very bottom. So I think the VTCAP scores really show a lot of the hard work that we've been doing, especially with like math back fluency, math. So we're pretty proud of that.
Okay, when you talk about percentages, is that in proficiency or like you're trying to?
So anyone who's going to score, you can get a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And so of the students that took it, 30% of our students scored a 3 or 4 in science.
Wow.
And that's not including the 2s. But I think really, I'll be honest, we hadn't had it for a couple of years, and we had. Yeah, it was pretty exciting, and I think the math is kind of speaking for itself. Our kids are working really hard. I think the new Bridges program, teachers were not hesitant, but when you take something out, I think it's hard to know if you're implementing it, with fidelity and doing the best you can in all areas of it. And I really think they are, and they're seeing difference. And the kids really like the program.
So this being our 3rd year with the VTCAP,
Yeah.
Starting to see some of those, the progress.
Yes. And I know it's dependent on class size too. It's does make a big difference, but
Yeah, I know, because we're probably not going to see what you can see, in terms of on a class by class basis. But I think that if we're looking at the data from like a district perspective, that's something that could be done. And I don't know, I think in the past, some classes, like if you combine a class between both schools, they're still small and suppressed. You still can't see it. So but that's why I kind of like always go to the end of these where you talk about the trends and analysis. Okay. Did anyone have any questions on the VTCAP presentation? Yes. Oh, nice. Okay. Take that back.
Thank you.
Okay. Fastbridge.
So in terms of it, not above the state average, we went from 19% in 23 and 24 to 31% in 25. And then for science, we went from 20% to 25% to 50% in 2025, and we are above the state average. In terms of Fastbridge, in both schools, it's just continuous improvement. A lot of the ways that these charts are broken down is just in what each of the students are testing in. So if we go down to the end, like slide 21, kind of is our summary. There's been aggressive growth in K1 for early reading. For grades 2 to 3 in reading, there's been moderate growth. And grades 4, 5, and 6 has typical growth. Again, the key word there is growth. It's continuous. Math, we have increased. So the amount of low risk students is a lot more than we'd like, but it's just something that they're coming to us. Sweet plan.
And again, I think the thing to pick out from Fastbridge is that for Wells is that 84% of our students made moderate to aggressive growth in reading, and they may not be at grade level, but they're making the progress at a much higher rate than they have in the past. And I think there's a huge impact from our EST team. Okay. Sean Du Bois does a fabulous job as our interventionist. She's key to our success.
Awesome. Well, what were you at, like 2,400 books? Something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
Yes,
so that's a pretty good.
they'll get there. They will get there. There's about, we need about 1,600.
Yeah. So for VTCAP, you talked about like that you're above the state average on the LA. My question is, if is that when you look at that, if someone were to look at that on the AOE snapshot, for example, would it reflect that, or are you looking at like the data that's not suppressed? I guess. Like, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm just curious because what, you know, in terms of like outcomes, what people can see on, is that the same information people are going to see on the AOE snapshot, like available online?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, all this information is right from that. So like slide, the VTCAP one, slide 13, that chart that's there.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that people can see the same stuff that we're talking about tonight too. And it's, okay. Any questions on the Fastbridge and VTCAP from anyone? All right. All right, thank you both. All right, so we'll move on to finance. We have the monthly reports in the packet. Are there any questions on the finances? Okay. On to board operating protocol. So at our last meeting, we're going to work through the board operating protocol. We're potentially changing some of this. I think there was a couple things that I had noticed that could probably use maybe some changes. One of them being so we have number 12 talks about virtual participation with an executive session. But one thing that, and again, this is a board discussion too, is that's the only thing that really references virtual participation. And one thing that I'm, just curious about with the board is, coming out of COVID and having these virtual meetings, if we might want to look at maybe, setting some guidelines around virtual participation, you know, some of them being like cameras on, you know, respectively. I mean, like, you know, if there's, obviously there's an exception to that. And then also, you know, maybe virtual participation as, kind of like a necessity. So more board members are in person than virtually, I guess is what I'm saying. And the only reason why I kind of bring that up and I might get, might not be a popular person because of it is, you know, there's been times where I've noticed where, there's more board members or 50-50 online and in person. But, you know, every meeting, is, you know, we just have administration that are here coming out, especially like during the budget season. But I don't know, it's just something that, it might just be more of, like an optic type thing. And that's why I bring it up. But, I do think that, you know, virtual participation is extremely important because not everyone can always make it, and this still makes it available, especially for, you know, folks with kids, you know, whether it be now or in the future. So I don't, you know, that was one thing I thought maybe we could address. Any thoughts on that? What's that?
Because there's more than one time you sat here in executive section with the see on camera, there would be some background constantly. Oh darn well, that's not confidential. And that's not right because it's supposed to be confidential. We don't know what's in the back. When we're in the theater, we know what's here and we know what's being done. We know what's being said and it's not anywhere else. If we're gonna do that, we need to have in-person meetings and that's the way to do it. Because like I said, we've all sat here, we've all seen people walk behind these people. No darn well, that's not confidential. Sorry. It's out there.
I would say if we change anything with virtual, just as long as there's a quorum in person, I guess if the executive session is the issue, just say if you're not in person, you're not part of the executive session conversation. It doesn't happen that often, and if there's an issue that,
board member, that should not be done.
but I guess that's up to the board member to come in person knowing it's on the agenda or not. Because whenever there's an executive session, we always know ahead of time. It's very rare that Chris comes in here or Eric at the start of a meeting and says, we're adding an executive session.
I think it's the other way. It's a standard item on the agenda, but we don't always have it.
No, right, but that's what I mean. Like usually we know if there's going to be a topic ahead of time because there's something in the materials or some conversation has happened beforehand to say we're going to discuss that in executive session.
We always leave a slot for executive session.
I would just wonder how other entities deal with this because it's a state requirement that we have that option. I wonder if other districts have a way to handle this, or they let it fly the way it's been flying.
Yeah, with these executive sessions too, like, we used to leave, like it on there as a standing agenda item.
Yes.
And, when they made it, a change to the law, it's supposed to be like proposed executive session and you're supposed to put exactly why you're moving into executive session ahead of time. And I think the intention behind that, and I don't know for sure, actually, I'm not even gonna speculate, but, so basically the only time it's on there now is when we know we're having an executive session and, which, yeah, you know, but again, like if, I think that if, when it comes to executive sessions, you know, it still talks about they're responsible for securing, that confidentiality. And as, elected officials, can't kick anyone out or exclude anyone, or say you have to be there in person because, I think that that could get the board in more trouble than, so.
From executive session being out the wrong person. Either way, you're gonna get help. How are you gonna make them?
Well, executive session is a privilege, and the idea behind it is most of the reasons why you move into executive session would be because it could put the board in a specific disadvantage. And if there's a board member who's, not paying attention to who's there in the background, or, that's something that I think could be addressed outside of a meeting too, to prevent it from happening. But,
I mean, if you're remote and you use the headphones with the speaker integrated into them, unless someone's over your shoulder and is an expert at lip reading, I don't think they're really going to know what's going on. But honestly, if someone felt they couldn't have a secure location, they should drop out.
Chris? Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Eric, looking at the statute, I don't think the statute limits what the board can do. The board, just quick read of that, it looks like the board can limit executive session to in person only. So
Yeah.
we can double check that at the VSBA, but I just, quick read of the statute does not, it looks like it gives the board the authority to make executive session in person only out of confidentiality.
Okay.
If the board,
Ahead of time, watching it that way.
Yeah. I mean, if that's something that, could be done, and I guess that's a question for the board. Do we want to limit the executive session to in person only, or
I'm not aware that we've had like a problem, right? Like, is there any reason to change? I'm not opposed to changing. I'm just wondering like why, like, have we had a problem?
not that I know. No.
I would only be interested in reiterating before an executive session that all members online make sure that they're in a secure location. I don't see this, this isn't a problem at all. And I think limiting participation is more of a problem than anything else. It's kind of like taking people's votes away. I want more people to participate than fewer.
And what would happen if, because of the numbers, you no longer had a quorum in attendance?
Well, you're not making motions for one thing, that you're in an executive session, but like, again, it leads to participation. I'd rather have more voices involved in the discussion than fewer.
Well, the optics, you have two people here making a decision, person. That doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Well, would that be the same kind of? Just saying things like, if you don't show up, you don't get paid, would that be kind of, don't show up, you don't get to vote? And if you, also we're asked to show up for.
Nobody's voting in executive.
Exactly, but you're having a motion being made.
No, there's no motions being made in executive session.
yeah, not in executive session. After executive session, yeah. I am, and again, I don't know for what everyone thinks of it. I think, virtual participation for executive session is fine. And I just think that reminders are good. And, I think there's also a level of trust too among other board members that they're doing their due diligence to make sure that no one's overhearing a particular sensitive conversation. But going back to the other virtual participation, how do folks feel about setting guidelines for that? Whether it be, whether you want to or not is basically what I'm asking. And again, this is just something, that we set in place that as far as expectations go. And again, I've seen other boards do, where they have board members have their cameras on and that way you can see that they're there participating. You still have a quorum. But
Well, that exactly what we have. There's a screen to test them. You don't know what's going on behind you. And they pop back on. So I don't know if they're here, you know what's going on. If they're on their screen, you don't. And there's some people, and I'm sorry, but I've seen kids, and I've seen the other adults here. Executive session walk in the background, like, yeah, that's real executive. We've all seen it. So it's not in person, it's not that much to ask about the executive session days.
okay, anyone else? Any other, well, I still haven't heard what people think about virtual participation.
I'm not opposed to if say camera on or whatever, but I do know there's a lot of times that we have board members that are traveling for work, right? And they're very active and they're talking to us, but they're in their vehicle by themselves, connected, listening to you. So to ask them to have their camera on where you're looking at the backseat of their car potentially is kind of silly, because I know there's a lot of times, and it doesn't just happen at our local board, it happens on, other boards as well. And that doesn't mean they're not participating. It doesn't mean they haven't reviewed the materials, doesn't mean they don't have questions ready, but they may be in a car for work and not able to have their camera on. So I think that to exclude a situation like that, we're right back to, are we allowing them to participate or not?
Then again, it never used to be able to be done that way. Everything was done.
I know, but there's a lot of things that never could be done that way, and we just had to adjust to the time. There's a lot in what
You're gonna put the effort in, then put the effort in. Because what if I want to participate, but my job doesn't allow me to because I'm on a bus, I'm driving. I'd love to participate, but I can't be talking to you on the headset, driving a bus, especially a school bus, with 50 kids in the sports team behind me, but I can't participate because I have to do my job. That you're saying the person down the road's traveling. Same thing, you're traveling for work, but you can do it, I can't. So does that mean I should not be able to participate? You can travel and do your job while you're traveling, but I can't do it because I'm doing my job and I'm traveling. Same thing. So some jobs will allow it. I make an effort to go in person whenever I can. But that's on plan, so I'm doing my damn best. But it should not, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna at least participate in person.
I mean, there's a big difference between what you're describing. You're actually on a job, you're working. Whereas if you're in transit in your car, you can go hands-free and
I can
participate
go
in the
hands free
meeting.
on a bus too, but they don't like that.
You're working, you're on a job. You should not be attending the meeting when you're on the job doing something.
But aren't you getting paid the same thing since the vehicle you're paying?
No, I'm referring to
Driving home.
I'm referring to transporting between a job or going to transit, not transporting for a job.
Reimbursement for mileage? That would be-
Oh.
It's
I don't-
got nothing to
It
do
is,
with that.
yeah, I think this one should be.
I don't see why we're trying to limit people's
Yes,
participation.
we should be doing. Yeah.
We should be encouraging, all of our members have busy lives and we give up various things to get to meetings, and I think we should, support that.
Okay. One of the other ones I saw on here that maybe you think a little bit, number 15. It says, well, it's at the end. At the end, it says, and networking opportunities. I don't know what that means.
Talking to other boards.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but,
Well, if you go to, you know, a VSBA workshop, you're going to meet other people from other boards, and that's a networking opportunity.
other than that, I mean, any other discussion on the board operating protocols? We usually, adopt these at our, annual meeting. We kind of put it on this agenda, so, if there's no other questions, if everyone thinks, this still looks good and is valid,
I'll make a motion to adopt them as is.
right? Any further discussion? All right. Made Amanda to adopt them as is. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One nay. That motion carries. So our annual retreat date, so we were looking at the week before, we're discussing it. No, can you hit the,
Yes.
Week before.
Before we pick a date, can we state publicly, briefly, like an overview of what we do at our retreat? I know last year there was a lot of conversation following our meeting, scheduling the retreat, where people kind of thought it was like we just had a buffet meal and enjoyed ourselves. I think it's worth a conversation publicly to say what we plan on covering during our retreat and plan our date at the same time, just so there's an understanding of what our goals are while we're there.
yeah, well, I mean, like, that, I guess,
Like usually we review our board goals.
did I say retreat?
Yes.
I'm sorry, annual meeting.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Board retreat date.
Annual meeting date. Okay. So,
And we talked about having it a week early. That
Yeah.
makes sense now with what you
Okay.
said earlier. You said a week early, and I was like, a week early before what?
we need to get a gavel so someone can hit me on the head, I guess. Okay, so, the school calendar is changed, and historically, we usually have our annual meeting the week before. So we're talking about bumping it up a week before that. And this is something that we put on this agenda from our reorganization last month. So I guess would it be, so I'm looking at what, the 15th of February, if we're going to keep it on a Monday, or,
So the week off is the 22nd? The students are off?
yeah,
Sorry, just double checking.
15th is President's Day.
Yeah, but the 22nd is the week that they're taking off.
okay.
We could move it to Tuesday.
So Eric, Corey Valley has moved their date to the 16th, so the 17th would be open.
Okay.
I believe the first is on second again.
Yeah,
That's a bit of a problem.
I have an idea for that though.
For what?
Well, that's reorg anyways, isn't it? The March meeting? All right, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
The Rick's meetings on town meeting day. Again, happened 2 years ago.
Okay, so is everyone okay with the 17th, February 17th, 2027?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm impressed. You set a date. Sure, it's not your problem.
I know,
Congratulations. I'll try.
What, where are we this year? Here?
yes, we would be here for next. Yeah, no, I hear you, Sue. You know, and historically, we would always just pick the Wednesday before town meeting. And, you know, at our annual meeting, last, or in February, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of people show up, and it's possible that because that was break week, you know, so, I don't know, we'll see, you know. All right, someone want to take action on setting our annual meeting date?
I'll make the motion that it be scheduled for February, February 17th at 7 PM
Okay,
at Wells Village School.
perfect, perfect. Okay, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, and to our board retreat date. I guess the question at hand is when and if we want to have a retreat date. Let's see here. Typically we usually do it in like, what, July? July is typically when we do it. We could do a retreat in lieu of a meeting. We could do a meeting and a retreat. We could do these different options. You know, Kaylee, usually when we have our board retreats, we're not familiar. Usually, that's usually when we set goals, talk about priorities for the district and so on. You know, I think, you know, just looking at some of the stuff we've been working on, you know, I think we've definitely made progress in certain areas, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to dedicate time to discuss this. Maybe look at, you know, other future potential objectives or whatever the board wants to do.
Is July your preferred month?
No, it's just historically when we've done it. I mean, some boards will have their retreat like around this time of year. Some of them will do it in the fall. You know, I think, you know, July just seems to be that makes sense because that's the beginning of the new fiscal year for us. And, yeah. Some of them will do it sooner, you know, like I said, in spring, so that way they can develop a work plan or whatever, so. But yeah, let's,
Our last one was in Middletown, correct?
we can have it wherever, as far as the retreat goes, you know. So is anyone opposed to setting a date for a retreat?
Try to do it the same day as the meeting that month, 13th.
I mean, we could do that. I mean, I know, and I've heard it before, is usually like in the summertime.
It's the 12th.
Yeah,
The dates here.
12th is Sunday.
Got 30
Oh,
minutes.
I'm looking at, sorry, looking at 27.
Not paying.
Nice. That's why we can include a board meeting with it.
And, you know,
13th.
people will show up.
You got it. Okay. Well, we've done it in the past just because, you know, for the most part, not a whole lot going on, but, you know, school's out.
Maybe season.
Yeah,
Other stuff going on.
you know,
Starting to think about the budget.
If we did the same day as the meeting.
Yeah.
Would we think just adding it into the agenda or like before or after?
Yep.
We meet?
we would add it into the agenda and we would take care of any business before, right? We've done that before. So if, like, for example, consent agenda, you know, stuff like that. Or if anything came up that needed, you know, board action, you know,
You could be doing contracts, something like that.
exactly. So we've done that before, and just include that into the whole time allotted.
So no moderator, just us. With
Yeah.
potential crickets.
Well, and I guess it's up to the board. So, you know, we've had a facilitator before to go through, but my thought is I always like the facilitator because they can help. You know, I mean, that's their job, is to facilitate the discussion and kind of drive out some of those priorities, but we don't have to. You know, I always prefer to have someone come in and, but that's just my opinion.
What would we focus on?
Exactly. I mean, we could, and that's the next question, you know, do we want to like reassess goals and priorities? Do we want to, you know,
Goals and a work plan.
yeah,
Update, nothing else, add to it. Knows where we're gonna be legislative wise at that point.
I mean,
What I'm
We may
thinking,
actually have a lot to do.
legislative wise,
Or-
we ought to be thinking about,
yeah,
which we may not be able to make that topic until the session is over, which maybe can still going on at the time of schedule.
yeah, that's a good point. And I was thinking the same thing that, what if, you know, what comes out of the legislature, you know, changes our mind on, you know, we could always just
Leave that open.
change it. So like if we commit now and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. But if something comes up between now and July, we could say, well, we're just gonna postpone our retreat date or cancel. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of just changing the
Yeah.
topic of focus.
Oh, okay. All right. We could do that too. So,
Or not determine the topic of focus for
gotcha. Yeah.
June.
So that would be Monday, the 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a motion.
In July.
Yes. And I mean, Chris, does that work for you too?
Yeah, should be fun.
And,
Started earlier, later, or say,
Same time, same time. And, you know, historically, we've always invite principals to collaborate as well. And so,
Yeah, shit.
I guess, yeah, like, oh no, another meeting. But I would say it's definitely optional. Okay, so, all right, so we all agree that at the annual retreat, we'll just set a focus for, you know, our goals, potential work plan setting, and is anyone like opposed to a facilitator for this?
I think it depends on the topic.
I think so. I mean, it's been a while. But I like the Kathy as a facilitator.
The tender?
Yeah. I don't know if she still does it.
Oh, yeah.
I always liked her style and, but,
It makes you work.
Yeah.
exactly. And it's not just like some kind of random casual conversation. It's like specific questions, post-its.
Big posting.
Yeah. So,
Potential of like potluck or food plan, like.
oh
plan to
yeah,
bring something like we did in the past. Everyone brings.
yeah, we can, I think we can discuss that as it gets closer to, I mean, food's always good. But, okay. So, so is it okay if I reach out to her about facilitating the retreat? Oh. All right. All right. Sounds good. So I think I don't think we need a motion to set our retreat date, but it sounds like consensus or unanimous consent. So, any other discussion on the board retreat? Right. So on to new business. So we have, there it is, this resolution. Mary had asked to have this on the agenda. So this comes from public comment that we had at our last meeting. And this was a resolution that another school board submitted, or
Laura asked?
Laura had asked
Yeah.
me to send it to the board
Okay.
because she talked about it during public comment. And then Mary had asked me to put it on the agenda, but Mary's not here. So, so I mean, we can discuss it still, but usually when someone asks to put something on the agenda, I think it's, it'd be good if they talk about it, but, I don't, I look at this resolution and, it's one of those resolutions that, yeah, it looks good on paper, right? But I don't know, some things I think about, like the first one is adopting a resolution like this. What does it do? What does it mean? Is it going to
Restrict.
yeah, is it going to restrict anything in the district? Is it going to cause, it probably not. I think, where we have, different, instructional methods in place. So,
It's pretty funky. It's like got different font in the middle of it.
I noticed that too.
yeah, yeah.
Question for Chris is are any of the other members of Greater Rutland, working on anything like this?
No other board is considering this resolution at this time.
Yeah.
I do know that the admins and myself have had conversations around developing a balanced a digital learning framework, which basically will highlight for our community and for our families how technology is appropriately used in our schools and our classrooms. But so there are things that we are doing that go beyond this resolution. So
This could affect our testing, couldn't it? Because it's not all done on,
correct, and I think that that's just a concern is if we don't currently have an opt-out. I know many districts do not have opt-outs, and you know, if we look at Fastbridge and VTCAP, we don't have paper-based options for those tests or those assessments. So there's a lot to consider in the resolution. I think, you know, that we'd have to go back with the admin and really look at this resolution to see what impacts it could have. But a resolution is just that. Policy is where we really have to develop procedures.
Yep.
So a resolution doesn't govern what we do. It's just an overarching philosophical framework, but the policy is when we start developing procedures.
That's good to know. And like I said, you know, stuff like this can have, you know, if something did pass in the legislature, you know, like, would that, how much would that disrupt what's already happening? And would there be, yeah, I don't know. I just think that, you know.
And Eric, I will say this, so I don't want to minimize this resolution or, you know, the beliefs in this, because I think that these are shared by admins and staff. And as we look at how do we find that sweet spot, because we, you know, we're not looking to be tech averse, but we also want to make sure that if we are utilizing technology, that's age appropriate, and that it is supplementing instruction, not supplanting that. And I think that's, you know, there will be a memo that will be coming out to families later this week around our Tech Free Fridays that will be implemented in all of our schools, as well as I think later this summer, early fall, we'll have that balanced learning framework around technology in our schools. So just to develop a better understanding of that. So it's not as if by, you know, we're not, like I said, trying to minimize any of these thoughts. I think we're all looking at the impacts of digital learning. We don't want our kids just on a screen all day. That's not, we don't think that's good learning. But we want to make sure that there are also tech standards that are embedded within the ed quality standards that we have to abide by as well. So
Exactly.
I'll just add, while I'm in favor of minimal technology in the schools, like limited screen time, I think, I can't speak to Middletown, but I think Wells does a pretty good job limiting that. I know there's some classes here that didn't have their Chromebooks used until December or January. And I know my kids come home a lot of the times, and a lot of their math and stuff that they're doing is hands-on. They're in fourth grade. I know they're starting to do a lot more writing and less typing, but still typing because they need to know how to do that. So I'm not saying it's, you know, perfect. I think everyone in Vermont schools is doing what they have to do based on what Vermont requires, but I do think that Wells is, and probably Middletown's the same. I just can't speak to that, but it's much less than it was 2 years ago. I can confidently say that. My children don't bring home a Chromebook. So it's, you know, minimally used, I think, now compared to what we were doing.
And when I see resolutions like this, I think if you're going to adopt a resolution or something, there's a resolution process through the VSBA that would have more of an impact than just adopting it locally. You know, because resolutions that are, you know, adopted by the VSBA through the membership, they'll use those resolutions to, you know, to advocate to the legislature. So, but
I also think if it is something we're going to do as our board, we need to hear from the admin what exactly they're doing on them during the day, right? Like, I think a lot of the time they're like practicing for upcoming state tests that are only available on the screen. I don't think they're just 2 + 2 and clicking 4. Like, I think they're being used in ways that the state requires the students to use them for performance, not specifically to teach them. Okay, so like, does that make sense? Or maybe I not say that clearly? I don't know. I just think before we go trying to change something, we need to ask them what they're using them for.
It's been a while since my kids were in elementary school, so let's go. But okay. All right. Any other discussion on this resolution?
There's a lot in here that we all agree with, but with what's going on in the legislature, there are some bills up there. I don't know if they're going to see the light of day. That will affect us all. Chris has stated he's already working on it with admin, so I wouldn't go any further than reviewing this, and we don't want to muddy any waters.
Yeah.
We're for what Chris is doing. We're for what the legislature's doing, but it hasn't come out yet.
Okay. All right. All right, on to public comment. Another opportunity to speak from the public tonight. Okay. All right, so we do have an executive session. For contracts, if someone would care to make that motion. Is there another link for executive session all set?
Yes, I share it with you. And then we do not need it. Well, it's up to the board, but I don't believe we need Carol or Jessica for executive session.
Yep. Okay. So I'll make a motion to move us into executive session. For contracts at 7:32. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And
Chris, can they leave or do they have to come back after this? They want to know if they can go home.
Are they dismissed?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's up to the board, but
yeah, you don't.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have. If you want to go home, so, you know.
You must know. They-
Yeah.
We'll just call you if we need anything.
Yeah.
We'll just call you if we need.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to be back here tomorrow morning anyway.
I'm speaking on the way on the road. Don't worry about it.
Fish.
You got to record this.
yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. Okay, it's 7:46. We are out of executive session by consensus. Our next meeting date is May 11th at Middletown Springs. Any agenda items in particular? Yeah. Other than that, pressure tanks. Okay. That's it. So that concludes all of our business. So I'll adjourn the meeting at 7:47.